I'm starting today with Aaron. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, big up, brother. Man, you set me up there for about 1,000 jokes that ain't fit for daytime streaming. So, usually I did listen to the little devil on my shoulder instead of the angel, but I'm going to be a good boy today. It pains me, Come on. You're opening yourself up for some jokes there, Tel. But big up, brother.
What we getting stuff put down my throat and stuff? Is that
come on, man. My brain's racing, bruv.
I'm not gonna lie,
I'm being
bro.
a good boy, mate.
This is the worst bit. Having a doctor stand like in front of me, like mid-height, and I'm gagging. I'm like, this don't look good from behind. I'm telling you.
It don't look good in any angle, bruv. Honestly, don't worry about that.
It was awful. But I got this spray up my nose, honestly, right? It made everything go numb. My face felt like I've been hit with a shovel for about 2 hours. It was a mad day. Bruv, listen.
You got the good stuff then.
Yeah, it was the good stuff. Yeah, it'd be great on a night out. I'm telling you, it'd be amazing. But
would be good.
Massive news that you're very close now to getting the here we go, getting the bomber, getting the deal agreed for Gyokeres. You must be over the moon with this potential transfer.
Yeah, listen, bruv. I think once you get multiple sort of messages from the likes of Fabrizio and Ornstein's even chipped in with his bomber. It starts to become a bit more reality now. Obviously, it's no hiding that I've always wanted Victor Gyokeres. The last time I come on here, I was saying about having him over Sesko, absolutely. But once it feels a little bit easier to talk about it now, and the reason why is because you've got that validation. And I know nothing's signed yet. He's not holding the shirt with whatever number he's sort of going to come in with. But once you sort of start getting hits like this, look, listen, here we go. Arteta out. There you go. Smile on my face. It's a smile on my face. We're not all doom and gloom over here. You know what I mean? I enjoy a good old sunrise sometime. And Nathan, this is a good sunrise for Arsenal Football Club. And we've needed a striker for a very, very, very long time. And we'll just talk on the assumption that he will sign, obviously, so I can just stop having to backtrack myself. This is what Arsenal Football Club have wanted. I believe he's definitely the most lethal striker out there that we could have signed. Obviously, Arsenal aren't going to sign the Mbappes and the Haalands. In terms of availability, he's the number one choice out there. And to get him for about 60 million, add-ons 70 million, I think it's a great bit of business for Arsenal Football Club. I know you'll probably say about, maybe waiting that little bit later in the window could have drove the price down. Personally, it probably, for me, didn't drive it down that much. I will also be open to admitting, maybe, it did save us 10 million. That could be spent elsewhere rather. I would have rather spent the 10 million and got him in 2-3 weeks ago. But whatever. I'm just glad that we're aiming for this sort of type of striker. I think that if Arteta had his own way and Berta weren't here, I reckon we'd probably be here we go on Sesko right now, or knocking on that door. I reckon maybe Berta coming in there has probably swayed him a little bit and sort of said, like, no, this is the striker Arsenal Football Club need, not the striker that Mikel Arteta needs. I don't know that for sure. Of course I don't. You know what I mean? I'm not inside the football club. However, I do think that there is, considering when you're looking at the last year or so, it's all really been about Sesko and little bits of hints of Gyokeres here and there. Now, all of a sudden, you get sort of this news. Listen, I'm buzzing. In its entirety, will I look at Arsenal Football Club next season and be challengers and really be up there? No, we've still got a bit more business to do. But I'll tell you one thing, Tel, and people listening, this goes a bloody long way into me sort of believing Arsenal can be right up there with Europe's elite again. We've got, like I said, a little bit to do. We'll all calm down on that. But this is the way to go. This is us floor raising, as Sam would say.
Look, it certainly is, and I think you raise a point that I didn't even think about until you said it, because it wasn't in my head. Maybe because I'm past thinking about this, but I think what this also slightly proves is every Arsenal fan that's been pushing this narrative of Berta has no power, Arteta is a dictator, Arteta runs the whole club. That was all predicated on if we get Šeško. Now that you've gone and got Gyokeres, because I do think this deal will now happen, maybe it's time, and I'm only talking as an outsider, to tread with a little bit more trepidation before those statements are being made, because this is the antithesis to what made Arteta the dictator and Berta having no power. It's gone the opposite way. So at least from an internal conversation amongst Arsenal fans now, that as a talking point, that as a hammer to beat Arteta with, can finally be dropped, surely.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Well, I don't know about dropped. There's still plenty of other sort of signings in the wings. There's a few signings, I reckon, that we've come through that clearly stink of Mikel Arteta that I'm not double happy with. One of them, someone's mentioned in the chat, the Madueke thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really know where. I know we're not talking about Madueke here. But this is sort of where we've been left. There's sometimes a little bit of confusion, and it's not very easy to sort of say which one's a Mikel Arteta son. We can see through length of transfer. Sesko, you can clearly tell that would have been a Mikel Arteta signing. The Zubimendi is, because of the length of time we were linked with him, precedes when Bert signed for Arsenal Football Club. So do you know what I mean? With things like that, it's not really difficult to sort of suss it. I just think with Arsenal Football Club, and I'll say a couple of people in the chat giving me a little bit of pelters here about the saying Europeans elite, which isn't actually what I said. But it says it goes a long way into competing with Europeans elite. So if you're gonna phrase me correctly, by the way, chat. I reckon we need a few more signings in there. If you ask me, if you said to me, all right, Azza, what we saying, bruv? 3 signings. Move the needle. Gyokeres would have been right up there. Rodrigo also right up there, and then Eze. Get me them. And I'm not saying Arsenal going to rule Europe. Chill, calmer. I'm just saying that goes a long way into going to compete with these guys. Arsenal Football Club, if we'd have signed Sesko and Madueke and Norgard instead of them other 3 that I just sort of said, I mean, we're talking about a totally different transfer window here. Like I said, we've still got a long way to go, but listen, I'm buzzing with this potential news. It's not done and dusted yet, Tel. But when you're sort of getting this level, you know what I mean? When you got the Fabrizios, you know what I mean? He's even come out in video saying, "Here we go," is very, very, very soon. That brings a smile to my face. You know what I mean? This cold heart that everyone thinks I've got is putting a little cheeky, it's going like that. That's it. It's helping me. It's helping me smile. Tel, come on.
Good. I like it. And this is big up Aaron here in the chat. I appreciate it. Aaron, mate, look, we're going to see you Tuesday on Straight Facts, mate. It'll be great to see you there, brother. And we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, sweet, brother.
Top man. Cheers, Aaron. Thank you, bro. Brandon is on with us next. Oh, looking dapper. We in church. We been church today or court? Where you been? Oh, is his signal gone? Brandon, where's the signal? Where's the signal, Brandon? All right, we'll go to Anton. We're going to Shannon, and then we'll try and come back to Brandon in a minute. Shannon, big news. How you feeling?
Look, I've been having these debates over the past day and a half with various Arsenal fans in our group chats, and there's been a lot of panic surrounding our transfer business. And when you look at it, it is preseason hasn't even started, and we could potentially be sitting on half of the business we need to be getting done. I actually said that listen, Gyokeres and Šeško, in my opinion, were not my top targets. My top striker target was Isak. But if you're asking me for the now what Arsenal need, I would take Gyokeres any day. I do like Sesko more as a overall package, but I think Arsenal are at the point now where we can't really wait for potential any longer. We need to at least get a type of trophy over the line, whether it's the league or the Champions League. And I think Gyokeres goes a long way in securing that. I agree with Aaron in regards to the window isn't done yet. There is still a little bit of business we need to do. I think adding a winger like Rodrigo would be great. I'm not too sure about the Eze links because I don't know where that leaves Wanyeri. But just to go back to Gyokeres, I think it's an excellent addition. And I like how Berta has left everybody kind of wondering, which I think that's what's gotten us maybe a much better deal than if we had focused our attention purely on Gyokeres. Because then Sporting would know this is the only option. We can set the price at any amount that we want. And I think the fact that we were able to secure personal terms with both Gyokeres and Šeško by the looks of it, and then pull the trigger on either one, I'm happy. Either striker would have made me happy, to be honest with you. So I think good business, get him in the door in before preseason. This reminds me of the window when we brought in Jesus and Zinchenko. It means the players can adapt quicker. It means we can get our style of play into them quicker. And I think, that's exactly what we needed.
Yeah, it is a phenomenal piece of business. And look, it's hard sometimes because you're told to get off the fence. But I don't think life's always about sitting on the fence. I think sometimes in life you must be patient. And been my message to a lot of Arsenal fans all summer, slow down a bit. I think you're going to pull off some really big deals just based on what I was reading. And this is one of them. And there could now be more to come. You've signed, there's a few people saying, Terry, is this Prem proven? No, but there aren't any available strikers in the Prem that are on the same level as Gyokeres. So why would you buy someone who's not as good just because they're proven in the Prem? You take the risk on the Gyokeres. Brandon, you must be buzzing with this news as well, mate. Oh, his signal's gone again. Brandon, we want to talk to you, bruv. We want to talk to you. Try and get us. We're going to get Arrival on now. We're going to get Arrival on to join us. Henry talks. Hang on, Brandon, you back? No. Henry's here with us. Henry talks football. Mate, massive deal for Arsenal. One that, you and I, you can go back as far as October, I think, when Plattenberg first linked Arsenal to him. And a lot of people at the time said, no chance, no way. But it looks like they've gone and got it done.
Yeah, I mean, it's from a rival perspective, it's the worst news you probably could have wanted to hear today. I mean, all Arsenal fans were down in the dumps about signing Noni Madueke, and then the Wanyeri news. And we've all basically been saying, like, July is going to be the big month. And then if they get Gyokeres, and Eze looks like he's close as well, and then Rodrigo's not getting game time, yeah, I don't think City are quite there yet, but Gyokeres in this Arsenal shirt, it's the two-horse race for me next season. He is going to be a 25, 30 goal a season forward who Arsenal just need to get a system where they just feed him. Similar to Man City had with Haaland, and that year he scored 50 goals. You bring in a guy who's got 97 goals in 2 seasons. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous numbers. Done it in the Champions League, played in England before. Yeah, like, it's going to be one hell of a signing. And I don't know if you watched the Madrid game last night. Rodrigo only got 5 minutes. So it wouldn't surprise me after the Club World Cup if they make a big move for him as well. But yeah, I think the whole Arsenal scary tag may officially be back now.
Well, I'm not going to say it. I get too much abuse for saying those things. Like, it's crazy. It's a madness. But Shannon, I want to thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. And we'll speak to you again soon, bro.
Cool, brother. Thanks.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I think we may have Brandon available here.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, there we go. Fucking hell, son. You need to invest in better Wi-Fi or get a box in your room, something, my friend. Go on.
Yeah, definitely. McDonald's Wi-Fi over here. It's not good. Look, good signing. Definitely happy with that. To me, it was the most obvious choice. There isn't another striker in world football right now that's offering up numbers like what Gyokeres is. And people will say, oh, it's the Portuguese league, blah, blah, blah. I think even if he only offers 50% of what he's offering right now in the Premier League, he's still going to bag 20 goals, right? However, I think the most intriguing thing about this signing, Tel, is it's not one of the norm under Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta is always looking for a player that's going to fit the system, a player that's going to drop in deep, help link up play. I don't really see Gyokeres as that sort of striker. Gyokeres is your fox in the box, get him in front of goal and he'll score. He's that type of player. He's not really one to drop deep, link up play, move in and drag himself into midfield to help in midfield. So I'm interested to see how the manager's going to adapt to having a striker like Gyokeres, which is completely different to a Jesus, Sesko, Havertz, so he's got to adapt in the way that we play. And I think the only way that we're going to get the best out of this guy is to add more creativity.
That was cutting out there, Brand. Try and get the signal better, bruv. I don't know what's... Oh, hang on. Oh, Fabrizio has just pinned the Gyokeres news now to his top. Well, fuck's that. I hate seeing that, man. I hate seeing that.
He's just reposted it as well.
We can take some more calls in a minute, people. I've got a few super chats to do here. First one says, where is it coming from? When it's positive, it equals Berta. When it's negative, it equals Arteta. Look, I brought this up. I only brought it up because I saw people saying it in the chat and I forgot about it. But I listen, the catalyst to Arteta's still got too much control was very much he's picking Sesko. They've got Gyokeres. You would think Arsenal fans would let it go, but there are some Arsenal fans, and we'll say it bluntly, that despise Arteta. And I actually think he could win them the quad. and they would still find something to be upset about. I just truly believe that. They shouldn't be, but they will. Why did it take so long? I don't know, something. You know what I mean? Oh, he did it in a way I don't like. But Brandon, so I brought him back on. It's still blank, Brandon.